Indeed, the data proves that the free SHS policy led to a spike in the numbers, a spike that we have never seen at that level. Yeah. In fact, after the first year, we were told that about 181,000 more students had access to free education. And so in terms of accessibility, indeed the free SHS policy expanded access. It expanded access not also because of the affordability alone. Don't forget, free SHS came with a twin policy of no cut-off. And so in the past, whether cost or not, there was a cut-off. And so if you fail to meet a certain grade point in your BEC, chances are that you may not be able to access or you may not be able to access secondary education. So maybe but in this case, so it wasn't only about the cost barrier. Yes, it is a fact that there were people who could not progress from junior high school to senior high school because of cost. But there were also a significant number of people who could not progress because of cutoff, because they failed to meet the point, the grade point. And as a member of parliament, I have a situation where now people come to you with their results and they need support and all of that. And for some of the results that you see today, in the previous regime where there was cut off, there is no way such results could have advanced or progressed to senior high schools, unless to the private senior high schools and other schools that were offering remedials and what have you. And some students had to start their junior high school all over again. That is why before 2016, President Mahama introduced the remedial school or private BEC to give a second chance to those who failed the initial one, which is the public one, to also access. And so these interventions have been there, and they were all tailored towards attaining some quality. So beyond the cost, there was also an issue of cut-off that was removed. That also led to the spike that we experienced. But apart from access, the other two key benchmarks, affordability and quality, were negatively affected by the free SHS policy. And so again, the policy was a good idea, but poorly implemented. Okay, now let's go into the other two benchmarks. In terms of quality, there are several surveys conducted, research, and I'll refer you to one. Jomo et al. And Jomo, I understand, lectures at GIMPA and got sponsorship from an organization in the United States, and they conducted a quasi-experience-led research into the impact of the free senior high school education alongside the double-track system. And their conclusion was that they were very emphatic in their conclusion that in terms of quality, free SHS failed to meet the standards and that it impacted negatively on the delivery of quality. So if the Minister for Education, the Honorable Haruna Idrisu, says free SHS impacted negatively on quality of education, he was speaking truth and he was speaking to the data and the research that was available.